This is very much the part of what you're speaking to. It's very much the dilemma of the Western seeker, who is still very embedded and immersed in the marketplace, where we haven't, that and that relationship between what I would call the realization or the abiding in the absolute, for want of a better term, and then the movement into the relative, which would be the marketplace. And this relationship is a fundamental question to the Western seeker, particularly because we haven't got what we could imagine is the luxury, although that's only part of the imagination, of realizing the absolute and then taking ourselves out of the secular, taking ourselves out of the relativity of the world, and that's not what's happening. So this conversation, your very thing that you're pointing to, is extremely relevant, because it's easy to, or it seems like most people here have had an experience of abiding, seeing, recognizing some aspect of the absolute. Then where does it go when we enter the marketplace? Because then easily the I've got it, I've lost it kind of happens. And this dance between the resting in the absolute and the filtering into the relationship to the marketplace, it is sticky. And that's the stickiness. It's like the aperture on a camera as it focuses in for its for the object, and then it releases back into its kind of nature. Well, my experience personally is that for a while that you carry one into the other. You carry more of the stickiness of the experience, of the focusing, of the relativity back into the abiding in the absolute, and that's the dance. That is the dance. It's like, but we, how long are we going to self-define in that? Surely I shouldn't be dragging so much of the relative experience of the me back into the absolute, but the fact is that it happens, and the fact is that that's what we have to work with, and that's where the practice is. If there is any practice, it's the vigilance to be able to see how easily we self-identify again, how easily we take some of this sticky stuff, which is whatever, is karma, is thought, is belief, is self-identity, and we bring that back into a place where actually it's not wanted anymore. Because in a way, we don't trust it. I've seen the absolute, I've tasted the absolute, and then I go back into the relative, something happens, I self-identify, I've lost it again, back into the self-identity. And eventually, again, my experience is within that. I mean, I've lived with this woman, so there's been a kind of living with a teacher, if you like, keeps you. And if we haven't got that, because when you go home, there's no teacher, you become the teacher. You've got to hold yourself to it. There it is. There's my identity. There it is. There I've become sticky again, or I've carried something. And that becomes a beautiful, ruthless, if you like, persistent dance. A dance. To enjoy that dance, not to self-identify, not to repudiate, not to do any of those egoic habits of self-punishment, of self-definition. Be done with all of that. Done with it. There is only the dance of apparent forgetting, apparent remembering, which I think is part of what you're speaking to.